Welcome agents, I'm Jojo. Today I'm going to show you how to play Vienna. In Vienna, players control competing spy agencies in Cold War times, using their agents to gain influence and gain access to secret information. If you enjoy my videos, please remember to like and subscribe. Also, please ask questions or leave comments below. First, I'll show you the introductory game, and then I'll show you how to play the advanced game. Place the board with the Prince Eugene of Savoy's statue side visible. Set aside one of each secret information tile: flask, handgun, briefcase, microfilm, and slide. Fill the cloth bag with the 40 remaining secret information tiles and randomly place them on the game board, filling spaces from top left to bottom right. Place the storage board nearby. Shuffle cards 1 through 90 and stack them on the storage board. Set the bribes on the storage board. Place the secret information board nearby. Place the 5 tracking tokens at the start of their tracks. Place the investigator on starting space A. Place the investigation tile with the arrow side up. Each player chooses a color and takes 1 desk in front of them, 7 agents, 6 above their desk, and 1 on the 0 space of the scoreboard. Each player gets 1 of each bribe token: chocolate, wine, magazines, coffee, and tobacco. Each player gets 1 random secret information tile and places it next to their desk in plain view. Give the starting player token to the player who was last in Vienna or closest to it. Vienna is played over several rounds, each round consisting of 3 phases. First, the card phase, where players plan their actions. Then, the action phase, where players implement their plans. And finally, the city crest phase, which is end of round maintenance. The end of the game is triggered when the investigator moves to the final space depending on the player count. That round is followed by 1 final round. In any order, each player draws 3 cards from the deck into their hand. Simultaneously, all players assign each of their 3 cards face down to the 3 action spaces on their desk. Each action space will trigger a different part of the card. The player holding the start player token does all 4 of their actions on their desk consecutively, followed by each other player in clockwise order. Move the card assigned here face up to any drawer space below your desk. The lower half of the card shows an open drawer indicating what special power the card gives you. The special powers supersede the rules of the game and can be used that round. Card powers remain active as long as they remain in the drawer. The first 3 rounds, you can gain a new drawer power, but starting in round 4, you must exchange 1 card in your drawer for another. Older cards get discarded. You can never have more than 1 copy of an identical ability in your drawers. Reveal the card assigned here and take 1 bribe token shown on the top left of the card. Then discard the card. That's it. You may place 1 agent on any building on the game board. The agent can come from your supply, or you can move an agent you've already placed. The cost to place an agent is 2 bribe tokens that match the building's background color. Different players may each have 1 agent on the same building. You cannot place a second agent on the same building. Each building features both a nationality and a background color. If you cannot or do not want to place an agent, you can take 2 identical bribe tokens from the supply. When placing agents, you may collect secret information tiles. You collect tiles as soon as you have 1 agent on each building connected to that square. Take the secret information tile from the square and place it next to your desk in plain view. Then score as many points as shown on the square. It's possible to collect more than 1 secret information tile in a single turn. The number of points is always equal to the number of agents needed to surround it. You get nothing for surrounding an empty square. Reveal your last card and advance the matching secret information tracking token 1 space. Then score 1 point for each of your matching tiles. If you can advance a secret information tile more than once, you score 1 point for each matching tile each time. When a tracking token advances to the final space, it remains there, but players can still gain points for advancing it as if it could move more spaces. As the game progresses, the 5 secret information tracking tokens will advance past thresholds, which affect endgame scoring. When any tracking token crosses a threshold for the first time in that round, the investigator on the roof moves 1 space to the right. Then, flip the investigator tile to its reverse side to indicate the investigator has already been moved this round and won't move again. No matter how many thresholds are crossed, the investigator will never move more than once per round. After all players have finished their actions, the start player token is passed to the left, and the investigation tile is flipped back to its starting side, if applicable. The round is over. Start a new round with the card phase. If the investigator has moved onto the final space for the player count, the end of the game has been triggered. Play one final round, and then proceed with final scoring. Each player scores 1 to 6 points for each of their secret information tiles relative to the position of the tracking token. For example, if this tracking token ended here, everyone would score 5 points for each of their flasks. For having a set of all 5 secret information tiles, each player also gets bonus points. The rulebook says it's 10, but the play rate says it's 15, so I've been playing the introductory game with a 15-point bonus for each set of 5 secret information tiles. Thankfully, this discrepancy isn't an issue for the advanced game, since the advanced game does not include this part of final scoring. The player with the most points wins. The game is set up in the same way as the introductory game, except place the game board with the Praetor side visible. Place the storage board with the Praetor visible. Place the next door house nearby. While placing the secret information tiles on the board, also shuffle the flags into the bag and place them covering flags on the board top left to bottom right. Place the coins in the supply. Sort the 60 missions by type. Place the A and B mission stacks face down on the storage board, draw 2 tiles from each stack, and place them face up on the board. Shuffle the 90 introductory cards together with the 85 advanced cards and make 2 draw piles on the storage board. Place the 5 purchase tiles and 2 payday tiles on the roof of the secret information board, depending on the player count. Each player takes 1 desk, 5 agents above their desk, 3 agents on the next door house board. Also near the next door house board, and not accessible to the player, is 1 side table and 4 desk tiles. Players take 1 shilling as money in addition to the 5 starting bribes. Everyone starts with 1 random secret information tile from those 5 set aside, and everyone gets 1 starting mission placed on their desk. The rules for the advanced version are the same as the introductory version, with just a few more wrinkles. Each building now has a 3rd feature. In addition to the nationality and background color, there's a seal. Seals are important for the missions and some cards. 10 buildings are also marked with letters for 10 of the missions. Money is used in several ways. You must pay your agents to stay on the board during the 2 paydays, and during purchase rounds, you can spend money to hire additional agents, buy desk tiles, or a side table. For money saved in your cash box, you receive additional points. Remaining money is a tiebreaker. You can earn money by accepting and completing missions. After the card phase and the action phase, some rounds may contain a purchase or a payday phase. If you do not want to place an agent during step 3 of your turn, instead of taking 2 matching bribe tokens, you can take 2 money. As the investigator moves right, never more than once per round, each time they reach a space with a purchase or a payday tile, that phase will be performed when all players are finished with their actions, but before the city crest phase. Place that tile on the investigation tile as a reminder. Perform the purchase and payday phases in player order, starting with the city crest. When the endgame is triggered, there's always 2 tiles on the final space. The round the endgame is triggered, perform only the purchase phase. The payday phase will be done during the final round of the game. Over the course of the game, there will be 5 purchase phases. After all players are done with their actions, starting with the same first player, each player can make 1 and only 1 purchase. They can hire an agent, buy a side table, or a desk tile. To hire an agent, Pay a shilling and add the new agent to your personal supply. Each of the desk tiles costs 2 shillings. The telephone allows you flexibility in the card phase. During each card phase, you now draw 4 cards instead of 3. Assign the 3 of them as usual and discard the 4th. The roadmap allows you to spend any bribe token as money during purchase and payday phases. The cash box can make some money worth victory points. As of now, money you earn may go in the cash box. Only the moment you earn it may you choose to put it in the cash box. Whenever you complete a mission, you receive an extra money that goes in your cash box. Money in the cash box cannot be spent during purchase and payday phases. Up to 12 money in your cash box can be worth points at the end of the game. The seal gives bonus points for missions. From now on, each mission you complete is worth 3 additional points. The side table costs 3 shillings. When purchased, it goes to the right of your desk. It allows you to have 4 drawer abilities and a 4th space for a mission. During the payday phase, each player must pay 1 shilling for each agent they have on the board. If you cannot pay all of your agents, you have to remove each unpaid agent back to your personal supply. If you have enough money, you must pay all your agents. You cannot voluntarily hold back money. Money in the cash box, however, cannot be spent. When placing an agent on a building during Action 3, you may either accept 1 new mission or resolve completed missions that match the flag of the building where you just placed your agent. When accepting a new mission, you receive an advance payment of 1 shilling for A missions and 2 shillings for B missions. You must have a free space on your desk for new missions. Refill the display. To resolve missions, you must have all the requirements shown for the missions. You do not spend anything to resolve the missions, you simply have to show you have it. You can even use the same tokens for multiple missions. For each resolved mission, receive the rewards shown at the top right. Remember, you can either accept 1 new mission or complete missions, not both, and the nation's flag has to match. The endgame is triggered in the same way. As soon as the investigator reaches the final space for the player count, when all players are finished with their actions, proceed with the 5th and final purchase phase. Pass the start player marker and play 1 final round. After the final round, each player checks to see if they still have any missions. For each mission that is unresolved, players must remove 1 of their agents from the board. Then proceed with the 2nd payday phase, removing any agents that you cannot pay. Then the game is over and final scoring takes place. Each player gets 1 to 6 points for each of their secret information tiles, as in the introductory game. Each player gets victory points for the number of desk tiles they purchased. At the end of the game, up to 12 money in your cash box are each worth 2 points. Players also score points for a majority of agents on the board. For example, in a 3-player game, the player with the most agents remaining on the board at the end of the game gets 12 points, 2nd place gets 6 points, and 3rd place gets nothing. The tiebreaker for the most number of agents on the board is first money and then bribes. If a tie persists, the points of both ranks are split. The player with the most points is the best leader of a secret spy agency and wins. Tiebreaker for the most points is first money, then bribes, and then the player who is later in turn order. This variation can be played either with the introductory game or the advanced version of the game. During setup, the last player, in player order, places the gray Stefan Feld figure on any purple building of their choice. Stefan Feld wanders through Vienna acting as a neutral agent. All players may use Feld to help surround secret information tiles. Whenever you use Feld to take a secret information tile, you receive 1 point less because 1 fewer of your agents was involved. Then, the Stefan Feld figure moves along one of the roads to a different color building. He always moves to the connected building that is adjacent to the most remaining secret information tiles, unless it's a gray building. He doesn't visit such places. If several buildings are eligible, he has the following preferences. A building with chocolate first, because he loves chocolate, then coffee, followed by wine, and finally magazines. Stefan Feld never goes in gray buildings because he doesn't smoke. This variation can only be used in the advanced version of the game. This variation also requires the Stefan Feld figure standee from Hamburg, Amsterdam, New York City, and Marrakesh. Each player takes the matching Stefan Feld figure standee in their color and adds them to their pool of agents. You can only place your Stefan Feld standee after you have placed at least 5 of your own agents on the board. Once you've unlocked your Feld figure, you may place it as usual. If you drop below 5 agents during a payday, you do not lose your Feld agent. The Feld agent acts like a regular agent. However, during payday phases, you do not pay Feld a shilling, but instead must give him a purple chocolate bribe. If you cannot, he returns to your supply. Each figure grants 2 abilities: a permanent bonus that is effective from the start of the game, and a triggered ability when placing the Feld agent on the board, unless you're yellow. Every time you resolve a mission that rewards money, you get an extra money. When placing the Hanseatic broker Stefan Feld on a building with a top hat, you pay a maximum of 1 bribe. Every time you resolve a USA mission, you may have 1 bribe token less than required. You also gain an additional point for each USA mission you resolve, even if the actual reward doesn't include any points. When placing the mayor of New York, Stefan Feld, on a building with a USA flag, you pay a maximum of 1 bribe. You always take 1 additional coffee bribe when taking a coffee bribe in Action 2. Each time you resolve a mission after placing the Dutch bootlegger Stefan Feld, you may use 1 coffee bribe instead of any other required bribe. Only 1 coffee can be used this way when resolving missions, but can be used once per mission. When accepting a mission, your advanced payment is increased by 1 shilling. This includes your starting mission. You may move the Moroccan nomad Stefan Feld agent to any adjacent building when you place one of your agents adjacent to him. Only check to see if you have surrounded any secret information tiles after you have moved your Feld agent. You do not have to pay bribes for this movement, and it triggers no other actions. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun!